Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just let me know you can hear me in the comments. You're welcome to the session for today. Our topic for today is roadmap to mastery. Roadmap to mastery. How to become a master in your field. So if you can hear me, just go ahead and let me know in the chat box that you can hear me. And if there's someone that you know would benefit from this session, just go ahead and invite the person to come live, and that we are now live, right? So roadmap to mastery, that's the topic. So if you can hear me, let me know in the chat box. Let me see your chats, and then I'll come up live. All right, great. I can see a number of you already live with me. Amazing. Yeah, so I can see Joseph, I can see Balkis, I can see Manuel. Great to have you here. Great to have you live. It's awesome to have this session with every single one of you. It's going to be an exciting time, I trust. And I look forward to both sharing and also learning from every single one of you. How is my audio at your end? Hope it's great. Hope my audio is good at your end. Let me know if my audio is good at your end. And we're coming up live now. All right, great. So Omonike says yes. Rukoyer says good evening. Salabi Oluwabosola says yes, sir. Joseph, hello, Joseph. Hello, Ayuba. Awesome, great. So let's get started. Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the Growth Accelerator session. Now, each of those sessions have been put together to make sure that you are growing in two areas: your personal growth and your business growth. So every single session will either be focused on your personal growth or your business growth. And today we'll be looking at roadmap to mastery. There's something I always say, and that's the fact that there are so many things that can happen by mistake. Mastery is one of them. Did you get that? If you got that, write it down. There are so many things that can happen by mistake. Mastery is not one of them. Out of the many things that can happen mistakenly, there can be something that people describe as some sort of breakthrough. That means something that was not expected happens. Something that is described, for example, as something that is not expected, but it gets to happen. For example, have you ever been surprised by, for example, a grade that you got? Let's say you were expecting that in a particular course with what you wrote. You know that what you wrote in that particular course, there is no way, like there's literally no way that is going to happen. You are not expecting to pass that course at all. And then when the result comes out, you find out that you actually passed and you're surprised, like, what really happened? Did they did they check my script really well? Has that happened to anyone? So that can happen with, for lack of a better word, by mistake in quotes. That means you are not expecting it, but it still happened. That can happen. But for you to be called a master, for you to get to a point called mastery, all right, you would need to go beyond those strokes of luck, those strokes of things just happening mistakenly or happening by chance. You have to go beyond that. Mastery can never happen by mistake. All right? Mastery can never happen by mistake. And it's important you understand the concept of mastery if you really want to make any form of sustained progress. And the reason why I'm really talking about this, why I'm giving this roadmap to mastery, is I was sharing this story, and I shared it for most of you that joined either from Facebook or so. I shared this story, and it's a story of something that really happened. In 2018, sometime in 2018, right? Yes, 2018. I had just finished my N1. I was in Kaduna State, and I started this process for this job application and recruitment process with one of the banks in Nigeria. And what happened was we had finished the first stage. As at the first stage, it was like an exam, an aptitude test, kind of. I remember that day very vividly. What happened that day was we were all sitting down, and personally, I'm someone that if we're in an exam hall, to an extent, I'm one of the first people to finish. You know those people that you're in an exam hall and you're like, when you see them stand up, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm finished. Like, how come this person has finished so fast? I'm always one of those people. Those people that are like, these guys, what type of thing is this one? Yes, I'm one of them. Why you're sorry for me? I'm leaving the hall. So I'm one of those people. But that day, something happened. I was in the hall writing the aptitude test, and I found out that after some time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, someone would just stand up. The first person stood up. I thought the person was going to ease himself because I was not done. I'm normally one of the first. I was not done. The person stood up and went out. And I'm like, what's going on here? Is it that they brought the smartest people to write this aptitude test? Like, do I even stand a chance? Not long after, the second person stood up and left. Then the third person. Then, people were standing up and leaving the hall. And I was worried. I was super worried because I know I have speed when it comes to these tests and exams and things like that. So the fact that I wasn't one of the first to stand up was already bothering me. But what happened was, after I finished the first stage, because the test was in stages, after I finished the first stage of the test, I then found out that before you can go to the second stage, you must pass a particular score. That means if you don't get up to 70% in the first stage, you can't even go to the second stage. So anybody that had left were people that did not get up to that 70% in the first stage. So while I was bothered that how these people finishing before me, the truth was that they were finishing before me because they couldn't go to the next stage. So those that were seated, those that were remaining, are actually those that were able to pass to the next stage. But that was the first stage. That was like an experience I had in the first stage that made me know that I'm not even supposed to look at what other people are doing. I'm supposed to focus on my work. But then something happened in the last interview I had. It was about 3 phases. In this, sometimes the HR people can just make sure that there's an extended process, right? Just to make sure that they're getting the best people. And that's amazing. Okay, so at the third interview, I was asked this particular question, and I've shared it to a number of people that are relatively close to me, right? I was asked a question. I was asked, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I remember standing because, I was standing. It's not those interviews that detectives, and I was standing. There were like 3 people interviewing me. So where do you see yourself in 10 years? Just as a flashback, right? The white shirt I actually wore that day was a gift from my mentor because it was this white long sleeve shirt, very really nice. And when I wear that shirt, there's this extra confidence that comes to me. So they asked, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And then I said something. I told them that I see myself as the managing director of the bank. And immediately, like, they just looked up that, like, they were writing something on their books, all those things that they write, maybe to write your scores and things like that. And like, they looked up, they looked at each other, and I could see the shock on their faces. Like, how do you get to that point where we've not even given you the job? Like, someone spoke up and said that, wait, let me understand. We've not given you this job, and you're already seeing yourself as our boss. And you're like, what do I mean? Like, I should explain what I mean by that. And that was when I explained something. I told them that the way that I would put in my work, if I have a goal or if I see myself as one day becoming the managing director, will be different from the way I put in my work if my goal is just to start working in a bank, to start to get something to earn from, to get a means of income. If my goal is to get a means of income and leave the lower poverty level, if that's my main goal, the level and quality of work I will put in will be different from the kind of work I will put in if my goal is to one day become the MD. And I could see that was like my last question. After that, they told me to go because they didn't ask me another question. And I got the job. I was one of the 19 people that got that job, although I didn't follow up with it. But why am I starting with that story? I'm starting with that because the truth is, if you have not yet accepted that you want to one day be a master, if you are doing something and your goal is to be one of those doing it, if your goal is to be, when they say, oh, who are the digital marketers in Nigeria, they will mention like top 10, then somewhere around. After the top 10, I say in the other 100 or 1,000, you're there and you're fine. If that's your goal, then this class will not really make sense because this class is for someone that you have a goal that in your field, in whatever it is that you're doing, you will one day be a master or you have a goal of mastery. I'm not saying you're a master yet. I don't actually consider myself a master. Why? Because I'm still learning. I'm still in the process of learning. But if you have a goal to be a master, there is a way you would work. There are some kinds of effort you put in. If you want to be ordinary, if you want to be one of them, that one is easy. You literally just have to be average. But the issue is that this society, the world that you're in, punishes mediocrity. Listen to me really well. We are in a world that punishes mediocrity. That means if you decide to be mediocre, if you decide to be average, if you decide to be just one of them, you risk being unknown, being unrecognized, being underappreciated, under-rewarded for a long period of time. And one of the biggest punishments for mediocrity is watching other people become what you would have become. Did you get me? One of the biggest punishments for mediocrity is watching other people become what you would have become. If you had put in the work, if you had stayed consistent, if you had done what it takes to be a master, if you had done all those things, what you would have become, you would watch other people become it. They will get the rewards that would have been yours. They will get the attention, the acclamation, the accolades that are supposed to be yours. If only you had decided to pursue mastery. This is why mastery is important. And this session, one of the things I want to achieve by the end of this session with every single person that listens right now, and even those that will listen to the replay, is to first of all put that mindset that desires mastery. You're no more at a point where you want to be average. Being average is it's easier. You're no more at a point where you just want to be one of those that are working in this organization. You're no more at a point where you just want to be one of those that know this skill. One of those that, do you know this? Oh, I know it. You know it, but who knows that you know it? And how good are you? What is your desire for mastery? How bad do you want to be one of the best at what you do? How bad do you want it? To be one of those that are the best at what I remember it's something that happened quite a while ago. If one of my assistants is there, Samuel, he would know about this, right? So I was being one of those that were supposed to be selected opportunity at a point, and for some reason I was not selected. Like I was not selected for it, right? And they selected someone else that, in my opinion, the person was actually better to an extent. As at that time, in my opinion, the person was better than me when it comes to digital marketing. I was just starting out. I was literally just starting out. I was supposed to have, take up a particular role in training, which I wanted because at then I really wanted opportunities. But then someone else was given the role to me. And as at then, I really think that person was better suited or had, to an extent, better experience than I did. But I shared this with my mentee, someone. I told him, I said something. I said that when you get to a point where there's someone that is considered the best, one of your first goals would be to be at least the second best. Do you know why? Because those that are the best, a day will surely come where they will be too occupied to take up everything. That's the truth. The people that are the best at what they do, they are almost always overbooked. They are almost always at a point where they don't have sufficient time to take up all the offers that are coming their way. And that's what I was talking about mediocrity recently. When you're in mediocrity, you see that it's as if they are pursuing some certain kinds of people with all the offers. It's even almost annoying. Like you are there, I'm also a digital marketer. Oh, I'm also a graphic designer. Why is it that everybody are rushing towards this person? And he's even more expensive than I am. Has that happened to anybody here? That happened to you, true of us. You find out that these people are more expensive than you are. Yet it's as if everyone is pursuing them with their designs, pursuing them with their work. Please do this for me, do that for me. And they're charging higher. It's almost sad. You're like, are you people not seeing me? I'm also good at this. It's fine, but it's just how it works, right? There's this particular part of scriptures, right, that talks about the story of a particular master. Sometimes it's referred to as a king that was going to travel, and he called his servants. Right, he was a master. He called his servants, and he gave them what some things that are called talents. They call them talents, but it's like gold or money or something that is referred to as talents. Now he called 3 servants. He gave the first one 5 talents, or let's say 5 pieces of gold, 5 talents. He gave the second one 2 talents, and then he gave the last one 1 talent. And then something happened. The person he gave 5 talents, the servant he gave 5 talents, went and traded and did business and worked with his 5 talents, and he got 5 more. The person that he gave 2 talents went and worked hard, did what he needed to do, worked with his talent, and he got another 2 talents. That's like 4 talents now. The person he gave 1 talent said, "This my master is a very wicked man, extremely wicked man." And he did something that is very, very ridiculous. He took that talent and he went and buried it under the ground. And when the master came back, he said, "Okay, all of you come and account for these things that I gave you." And the person that he gave 5 said, "Oh, thank you for the 5. I traded with it, and now I have 5 more." So now he has how many? He has 10. And then the person he gave 2 said, "Oh, I traded with my 2, and now I have 2 more." That means he has how many now? He has 4. But the person that he gave 1 says that you are a wicked man, very, very wicked in all your ways. So I took my talent and I buried it under the ground. And that's what I did. And the master said that this servant is very, very useless. And he said that they should put him in prison and they should do something that is almost unfair in our age. This is what he said. They should take 1 talent from the person that buried it, take his 1 talent and give it to the person that has 10. Not the person that has 4. Like, is it fair? Someone already has 10. Why will you take the 1 talent from the person that has only 1? And you didn't even see the person that has 4. The person that has 4 also worked hard, right? True of us. Did he work hard or he didn't work hard? He worked hard and he got 2 more. He has 4. So the person that has 4 also worked hard, but they took the 1 talent from the person that had 1 and gave it to the person that has 10. And then a particular principle was stated by Jesus. And he said something. He said that him that has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But to him that has not, even what he has will be taken away. Did you get that? It was Jesus that saying this, not me. Does this sound fair? Let me say it again. To him that has, you can write it down in the chat box, right? To him that has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But to him that has not, even what he has will be taken away from him. How can you have not and what you have will be taken? So does it mean that probably it's not really that you don't have anything, it's just that maybe you don't know what you have. And if you don't know what you have and you don't recognize it, what you have will be taken away from you and given to someone else. But then the people that have more, those are the people that abundance comes to. This is the mindset of mastery. You're at a point where you know that the more you have, the more you will have. The better you become, the better you will become. It's like a ladder. It's like shining brighter and brighter. That's like the pathway. So one of the causes of lack is having nothing. Because if you have, more is supposed to be added and you're supposed to have abundance. So if you check your life and you find out that it's as if I'm not seeing abundance, the question you must ask yourself is, what do I have that is able to attract that abundance? I'm still talking about mastery, but I'm trying to start with a mindset so you understand why this is important. Are you getting value so far? If you're getting value so far, just let me know in the chat box that you're getting value so far. All right? You must have that mindset. Now that you have that mindset, now that you have that desire for mastery, you're ready to get to that point where you're no more average, you're no more just one of the people that are in your field, you're no more just one of those that are doing what you do. You're ready to get to that point where you are one of the best. You are really one of the best. How do you go about it? How do you become a master in your field? Now let's go through this step by step. Let's talk about the strategies and the tips, right? The first thing that is really important if you want to become a master in your field, the first thing is clarity. Someone should write that down for me in the chat box. Clarity. And I'll tell you why this is important. There's clarity of the first clarity you need is actually the clarity of who you are. But the theme is clarity. That's the first point, clarity. So you can write clarity in the chat box. The first clarity is the clarity of who you are. And the reason why this clarity is important is you can hardly behave in a way that is separate from who you see yourself to be for a long period of time. Let me explain. Someone can be taken from, let's say, a village, for example. You can be taken from a village to a king's house to serve. And then before, have you seen that type of scenario where before you're taken there, they'll call you and give you like an orientation. They'll say, oh, when you get to that place, this is how you must behave. Keep your hand like this. Don't look at the people in their eyes. All those things that they do those days. Orientation. There's like an orientation, right? There's an orientation of how you are supposed to behave. That orientation can only last for a short period of time. You cannot sustainably behave in a way, you cannot sustainably behave in a way that is different from who you see yourself to be. Your sustained behavior comes from a clarity of who you are. If you have not yet known the person that you are, it is difficult for you to sustainably behave in a particular kind of way. And some of you are carrying, you're carrying versions of yourself that have been put on you by society. People call me a digital marketer, which is literally what I do. I'm great at that, right? But I have a revelation of who I am that is far more than just that. There are different versions of who I am that when I want to operate, I operate based on the version I need to put on at that time. I can put on a version where I have to be light, I have to be salt, I have to be king, I have to be priest, I have to be son, I have to be servant, I have to be several things based on who I am. So I have that knowledge of who I am that allows me to operate in a particular way. I am here dispensing from who I am and from that which has been put inside of me, because there is a part of me that needs to shine. So my light is supposed to shine so that men can see and glorify my Father in heaven. That is a revelation of who I am. And that's what I'm doing. So you have to ask yourself, who really are you? And the best person you can know who you are from is the person that created you. This is just the truth. That's like the best way to know who you are. Now, there are several methods. There are scientific methods. There are quite a number of things you can do. I won't talk about that. But the best person that knows the purpose of something, if I'm the one that created this pen, I'll be the best person to know what it's supposed to be used for or what the pen is in the first place. That revelation of who you are would sponsor the actions you take. There's a particular part of proverb that a king's mother, King Lemuel's mother, was advising him, and he said something. He said that it is not for kings to drink strong wine. It is not for kings to drink strong wine. Now, that advice was not for everybody. It was for a king. So if Lemuel has not accepted his kingship, if Lemuel has not accepted who he is as a king, that advice does not pertain to him. Strong wine may not be bad for everybody. But for a king, it is not good. Why? Because it affects his judgment. That knowledge that he is king is what sponsors his ability to behave as one that is a king. The first clarity you need to be a master is a clarity of who you are. That's the first clarity. Now, the second clarity, because of time, I want to make sure I like this thing being within 30 to 45 minutes. Let me see how fast we can go. The second clarity you need is the clarity of what you want to be a master in. Many people want to be great, but in what? You're not sure. You don't even know. There's something I ask those that are very close to me. I ask you this question. What are you trying to be the best at right now? Let me even ask it right now. Let me just try this. If you're following me live, answer me in the chat box. What are you trying? Have you thought about it before now? What are you trying to be the best at right now? And when I say right now, I'm saying that this doesn't have to be your entire life. It doesn't mean that what you're trying to be the best at right now is what you do forever. No. But there are phases, there are times and seasons. For every time, for every season, there must be something that you're trying to be the best at. What are you trying to be the best at right now? That's the second clarity you need to know. The clarity of what you want to be a master in. If you have not figured this out, mastery is far from you. Think about it. Tell me anybody you think is a master. Are you not able to know what the person wants to be the best at, what the person wants to do? You must know part-time what you are trying to be the best at. What do you want to be a master in? This clarity is important. And there's something I need to add there, right? And that's the fact that Clarity is progressive. Clarity is progressive. It's just like a road. If you're driving at night and you have headlamps, right? The more you go closer to something or to somewhere, that's the more you will see. That's how clarity is. It's progressive. The more you're in motion, you don't wait somewhere and hope for clarity. No, you don't do that. As you're in motion, you become clearer on what to do. It becomes clearer to you what you're supposed to do part time, what you're supposed to be the best at now. Several things make you know what you should be trying to be the best at right now. Has anybody answered me? Do you know what you want to be the best at? What do you want to be a master in right now? You can write it in chat box if you know what you want to be a master at, so I can use some examples. So what do you want to be a master at right now? Okay, so someone says, so make money. Yeah, that's a good step. So that's where you want to be a master at making money, right? Money comes in several ways. I think to be a master at that, first you have to study money itself, study money as a concept, and then know how it comes. Right. One of the very profound things I learned a long time ago from Pastor Ejimi. Some of you may know him. The man I honor and respect so much, and I love so much. And he said something. He said that money comes to you when you sell, money leaves you when you buy. You get that? Money comes to you when you sell something, money leaves you when you buy something. So if you buy more than you sell, you will be broke. If you sell more than you buy, you will be rich. That was a profound statement for me. So money comes to you when you sell, money leaves you when you buy. So if you buy more than you sell, you'll be broke. If you sell more than you buy, you'll be rich. That's like a one lesson on money that I can never ever forget. There are other things, but you want to be great at making money, you learn money itself. I'll recommend a book to you, Stephanie, The Richest Man in Babylon. Amazing book. I've read that book over and over again. Awesome book if you're looking at understanding like the dynamics of money and making it more. Yes, I can see some other comments. I can see Shama Kams want to be the best at creating Facebook ads. Amazing. Crypto technical analysis. I can see great salesman. I can see podcasting. I can see Safura, public speaking. I can see graphic design. So for something like public speaking, for example, right? If you want to be best at that, you can literally, we're in 2022 now. So you can think about what topics do you want to be invited for. Think about it. You want to be great at public speaking. What do you want to be invited for to talk about? Make a list of those topics and come online and talk about them. Talk about them online. See, public speaking these days it's great to be invited and to speak in public. But before that time comes, you may need to create your own stage, your own podium by yourself. That's the stage, that's the age where we're at. In 2022, you can be great at public speaking by holding your own programs, speaking by yourself. I became better at speaking in live sessions by speaking in live sessions. All right, so those are things that you can do. All right, so now that we've gotten some sort of clarity there, and you understand now that clarity is progressive, the next thing that you need to do to be a master in your field is a word that is super important. It's called competence. Competence. You can write that down in chat box. And I'll give you a very simple way to know what competence is and how to go about becoming really competent. Some of the things people call competence is nothing right now. You know sincerely inside of yourself, you're just playing if you're being sincere. Some of the things you call competence. But let's talk about competence, all right? So competence is how good you are at what you do. That is competence. Your competence is how good you are at what you do. And this is the second thing you need to put in place if you want to be a master in your field. All right. So now that you've identified digital marketing, you've identified community management, you've identified crypto technical analysis, you've identified graphic design. That's great. That's the first thing. You are now clear. You can write it down in a claim sheet, right? This is what I want to be the best at. The next thing is competence. Competence is how good are you at what you do. Some of you, what the level of delivery you're doing right now is the same level you learned 2 or 3 years ago. You know that there's a saying that practice makes for perfection, right? Or the more you learn, the more you do, the more you learn. And that is true. That's not a lie. Okay? there's a type of learning and there's a type of knowledge you get while you practice. But if you want to grow sustainably beyond that knowledge you get while in your practice, you must have dedicated times of learning. And let me give you the best way to go about it, right? A question you need to ask yourself is, what are you learning right now? What are you currently learning? And what you're learning should be in line with what you're trying to be the best at. But let me show you a sustainable way to go about it. If it's mastery you're looking for, do you remember in the university, for those of you that have gone through the university, or those of you that are currently still there, or even in secondary schools, right? Have you heard of the term scheme of work? If you've heard of it, let me know in the chat box. Have you heard of the term scheme of work? Some people call it scheme of work. Some people call it course outline. In the universities, it's called course outline. So every single course has like an outline of the things that you're supposed to learn under it. Every single level, if you're in 200 level, you're in 300 level, there are some things that is expected that before you can move from 200 level to 300 level, you should have gotten knowledge of all these things. You should have been tested in them and you should have passed those tests. That's like a scheme of work. If you want to learn sustainably, you need to have, to an extent, an outline, a scheme of work. So whatever it is that you want to become the best at or a master at, ask yourself, under this thing, what are the things I need to learn? In community management, what are the things I need to learn? In public speaking, what are the things I need to learn? Do I need to learn stage management? Do I need to improve my vocabulary? Do I need to learn how to move on the stage? What do I need to learn under each of these things? Without an outline, what happens is you'll be learning, but you'll be learning in a scattered way. Today you're learning this, tomorrow you're learning that. You're not learning in a way that is arranged. All right? You're not learning in a way that is arranged. You're learning in a very scattered way. And that will not profit you. So while you are at a point where you are practicing, you're learning by doing, also have a scheme, an outline that says, oh, for me to become the best at this, first, let me give you an example. If you want to be a front-end developer, a software developer, right? And I'm saying this because I've gone through most of the things I'm about to share. If you want to be a software developer, one of the first places you may need to start is HTML. So you have to learn HTML. Then you have to learn CSS. Then you have to learn maybe JavaScript. Then you have to learn maybe React or AngularJS. Then you have to learn maybe Node.js if you want to be a full stack developer. Maybe Node. There are a number of other ones, right? There's TypeScript. There are a number of these things. Don't ask me how I know, right? I was a programmer in one of my lives, right? If you want to be the best at graphic design, first thing, how to manipulate shapes or simple shapes. Second thing, colors and color grading. Third thing, how to do this. I don't know everything on graphic design. Daniel George is an amazing graphic designer. If you're not following him, I think you should. He's my friend, but he's also really great at what he does. So Daniel George knows that more than me because he's a graphic designer. If you want to go into photography, you can learn, first of all, how to, what are the basics? I don't know. Is there a photographer here? Do you want to help me? If you want to learn how to cook a goosey soup, for example, first of all, you have to learn how to boil water, I guess, right? I don't know much about cooking. But then for every single thing you want to be a master at, there can be an outline. There can be an outline of this, then this, then this. That helps you to learn in an arranged way. Imagine you enter into university and then in your 100 level, you're learning one course from 100 level, one course from 200, one course from 300, one course from 400, and you're learning all in 100 level. And at the end of 100 level, you know what will happen? You will pass the 100 level course, but you will fail all the other courses you're supposed to learn at 100 level. And because of that, you won't graduate. That's what's happening to many of you. You're learning things, but you're not learning in an arranged way. So you're still at the same level for too long. You need to arrange your learning. Arrange your learning. Are you following? You need to arrange your learning, and this would help you. Now, after you have arranged your learning, the next thing you need to do is to put a timeline. Do you know why in the timeline? Because you will not be here forever. When you arrange your learning, you now have an outline. You need to put a timeline. That's why I think in secondary school or so, you see something like week 1, you're supposed to learn this. Week 2, we're supposed to learn this. Those things are basics, but it just shows you how you can grow in a structured way. Put a timeline to it. What are you focusing on in May? What do you want to learn in June? What do you want to learn in the second week of June? What do you want to learn in July? So that at the end of the year, you can go back and say, oh, I said I will learn how to run ads in July. Did I do it? Oh, I said I will learn how to build landing pages in August. Did I do it? So you have a structured way of learning that can help you track your progress. This is how you really become competent. This is how those that are competent really become competent. They subject themselves to a period of learning because they know that a heir, although he's a heir, although he's the son of the king, he's no different from a servant, all right, as far as he's a child. But he's subjected under some form of authority for a period of time. It is that authority that allows you to become a king. If you can subject yourself to a learning process, if you can subject yourself to some sort of authority that can help you learn, then your kingship is not far anymore. This is how kingship is done. This is how mastery becomes. So there's a teaching that has to happen. There's a learning that has to happen. And, there's something that my mentor, Elisha Maman, most of you must have heard me talk about him over and over again. He's the person that literally works on this version of me that you see. I met him when I was literally, I wasn't sure of anything in my life. And then he was able to mold me. He was able to bring me to the point where I am right now. His name is Elisha Maman. You can go ahead and follow him on Instagram. He's really, really amazing. And he has super helped my life, right? One should just type his name on the chat box, right? So that in case people don't know the spelling of his name, you can get that. But you can go ahead. And if you're getting value from this session, you can literally go and send him a DM. Tell him thank you for raising me because he's the one that did the raising of what you're saying at the moment. So you can go to Instagram, you can send me a DM, you can tell him thank you. I do that a lot, but you can also do it on my behalf. But let me go back to what I was saying. He told me something that is profound. He said something. He said that, I think I've lost my train of thought. What's the last thing I was talking about? So he said something, right? He has told me a number of things, but one of the things he said was that authority is built on that authority. Did you get that? So he told me that authority is built on that authority. So if you want to get to that point where you are, you're learning to become an authority, you must first subject yourself under some form of authority. That would really help you. So you have that timeline that is outlined for you where you're supposed to learn. And that helps you to grow in a structured way. Now, let me become a bit more practical. All right, let's get a bit more practical. How can you really learn? How can you really learn? There are several ways to go about learning. The first thing I would recommend you do is that you use YouTube a lot. YouTube has so many amazing materials. You won't even believe it. YouTube has so many amazing materials. Now that you have an outline and you have a timeline, your outline now determines what you search on YouTube. So you're not just going to watch music videos from the latest artists or what's the latest release. No. When you go on YouTube, you're not going for movies anymore. You have an outline and you have a timeline. So that informs what you go ahead and search on YouTube. So you can start from YouTube. That's like one of the best free platforms to learn from. You can also go ahead and look for opportunities when it comes to internships and fellowships. All right, someone should write that down. Internships and fellowships. There's a particular platform that I would always recommend for internships and fellowships, and that's Ingressive for Good. They're doing super amazing. Ingressive for Good. You can check them out. And let me tell you something about internships and fellowships. Now, when it comes to internships and fellowships, you have the opportunity to leverage both a community and a name. Because internships, every organizer of an internship or a fellowship wants you to succeed. They want you to become better. They want you to have a result. So if you can really put your all into it, you can leverage on that circle of people and on the people that are organizing the internship or fellowship. You can leverage on that and really grow. So internships and fellowships are super, super powerful. All right, then you also need to take paid courses. Paid courses are important. And one of the major reasons why paid courses are important is because most times or sometimes you pay for courses not really because of the course, but because of the person that is giving you the course. Most of the times, I've had to pay for courses to get access to people. There are some accesses that you literally pay your way into it, and then when you get in, you can maintain it, you can develop on it and leverage on it. But sometimes you pay for courses to get access to the person. I know a number of people that have paid for a course from me to get access to me, and I know it because I have done it before. So if you come and you talk and I'm like, all these things you're doing, I already know it. So there's no need to go through the long. I know what you're doing. I understand. It's fine. But then it's a great way to get access, because when you pay for someone's course, there's that communication of some sort of honor that you give the person, and it gives you some sort of access. All right. So competence is the second thing. Now let's take this step further because we're running out of time. The next point is service. Service. You can write that down. Anyone that desires to be a master must first be a servant. I didn't say this because Jesus has said it. Anybody that desires to be a master must first be a servant. You must, put yourself at the point of service. And when I talk of service, right, there are two kinds of service. There's service for free. That means you're serving for free. You're not being paid, at least in cash, for your service, right? And then there's a service you render that you charge from it, and that's called work. Okay, so there's service and there's work. Sometimes I try to differentiate it, all right, but for this particular session, I'll put them together. So when you're doing something, when you're giving something for free, it's a kind of service that is for free. But then there's a service that you get paid for. It's called work. You're providing your service, but you're also being paid. It's work. You're working. All right, you're working, and working is also important, right? Now let's talk about service a bit. Now that you've developed competence, what happens most times is, okay, you've identified that you want to learn arts. You've learned arts and you're great at it. You've developed competence. You immediately want to start getting paid. That's not how it works. People do not trust you yet. People don't believe that you can do what you say you can do. Yes, you can do it. Yes, I know. Yes, you know. But people do not know. So service helps you to bridge the gap between learning and earning. Service, that ability to offer what you are able to do to someone that you believe in, either a person or a platform that you believe in, you're able to offer it for free, all right, so that you can get some sort of proof of work. That's one of the major rewards of service. One of the major rewards of service is greatness, but a low-level reward of service is proof of work. So you're able to show people that, yes, I can do this thing. This thing that you say that you're competent in, can you really do it? Yes, okay, I know you said you can do it, but how can I be sure? Then you bring out your proof of work. This is how you get to that point where service begins to reward you. So if you have become competent at something, choose one person or two people or a group of people. I would always recommend that you go for the highest kind of people that you can get access to, and offer to do your competence for them for free. So whatever your competence is, offer to do it for free for someone. Some people will say no. Don't feel bad. It doesn't mean they hurt you. They hate you. It doesn't mean they hate you. All right. Some people will say no. Do not feel bad. It doesn't mean they hate you. They may just not trust you enough to give you that close level access. It's possible they've been burnt by someone in the past. You don't know what has happened to them before. Maybe they gave someone access and something went wrong. So there are more structures around them, and that's okay. Don't feel bad, and don't hate the person. The person doesn't hate you. Don't feel bad. But there's no how that one person will not accept. Someone will accept. Anybody that accepts, start from there. All right? Offer your competence for free to someone, and use that to get proof of work. Don't just serve and no. As you're serving, gather your proof of work. This is what you've been able to do. These are testimonials. This is your proof of work. Then the next thing for under service is serving for a fee. Because when you look at work, if you start looking at work as something that is not service, what happens is that your work it doesn't get really profitable for you, because great work is literally you serving someone. You're serving an organization. You're serving a person. You're working for an organization. You're working for a person, but you're serving for a fee. And the thing you serve is competence. That means the higher your level of competence, the higher the level you can serve. This is mastery. This is the roadmap to mastery. All right? I'll just take a step further because we're already running out of time. But are you really seeing how you can go about this? Are you getting value? Hope you're getting value. Let me take it a step further. Now, the next point after service is visibility. Visibility. A lot of you will become really good at what you do, but really under rewarded because only you, your family members, and your best friend know that you're good. So, yes, you're good. You have learned. In fact, you have even served. But the issue is nobody knows that you are good. That's where visibility comes in. I think a way to talk about visibility is communication, because when we talk about visibility, you can say things like, but there are people that are not talking online and yet they are getting great jobs. There are people that are not, they're not making posts online and yet they are getting opportunities. This, that, and that is true. You're right. You're very right. So my definition of visibility is not really posting. Posting is a part of it. But my definition of visibility is communicating your value to the right people. That is visibility. Bringing your value before the right people. If the right people can see your value, you are visible. That is visibility. Someone should write that down. That's powerful. Someone should write that down for me in the chat box. Communicating your value to the right people. So visibility is a lot of communication. There is a lot of communication that happens in visibility. What I'm doing right now, I'm communicating. When I write a post, I'm communicating. When you put out your CV and send it to a recruiter, you are communicating. You're being visible to the right person. So if recruiters are the right people for your mastery, be very visible to them. Everybody that you see that doesn't have a social media account but is doing well is visible to the right people. Yes, they are very, very visible to the right people. Think about Joseph, right, in the prison. Joseph in the prison knew how to interpret dreams. And he brought that his value to the people that he didn't even know were right people, but they're the right people. And that's the issue. Sometimes you don't even know who is right and who is not, who is the right person. That's why sometimes social media helps. Why? Using social media, you can communicate your value to as many people as possible. Out of the many people, there are some that will be right people, there are some that will be, one of those. And that's fine. That's okay. That's why social media is great. So social media is not the only way to be visible. Visibility starts by knowing who are the people that needs to know that I can do what I can do. That's visibility. Communicating your value to the right people. So Joseph was in that prison, and who remembers the story? If you remember the story, let me know in the chat box. He interpreted the dream of two people. All right, one was the cup bearer, right, and then one was the baker. But then there were people that served in the presence of the king, and during that person went back to the king's service and forgot about Joseph until a problem arose. When the problem arose, he was remembered. Why was he remembered? Was he remembered immediately? No. Some of you are being visible, but you're hoping that your results should come today. How many years did it take to get the reward of visibility? Who knows that? Can you write it in the chat box? I can't remember the exact number of years. But I know that he was forgotten in prison for a while. He did not tell the king about Joseph at all, until a problem arose. But because Joseph had become visible to them while they were in prison, when a need arose for Joseph, he remembered Joseph. If you are visible to the right people, although they may not seek for you right now, but any day that there is a need that concerns you, you will be called upon. And this is the mindset you have that makes you not wary. So I don't think that if I create content for the next 6 months or 1 year consistently, I'm not expecting an immediate reward. No. So you do it for 1 month and you be like, oh, I'm not getting anything. I'm still broke. I'm still that. Of course you are, because the right people don't need you yet. But let them know that you can do what you can do. Once they know, the day that you're needed, you will definitely be called upon. And when it comes to visibility, there are two major types of visibility. There's free visibility, which comes in the form of communities. Okay, I really recommend that every one of you joins at least one community that helps you. I'm a strong advocate of the Winning Mindset community. All right, the Winning Mindset is there's a Facebook group there's a group on Facebook for the Winning Mindset. They have physical programs in Kaduna State, Nigeria. You can also stream online most of the time. So you can follow them on Instagram. I'm also a strong advocate for the Head Start Africa community. If you're not yet on the Head Start Africa community, I would recommend you join that. You can write these communities out on the chat box, please. So the Winning Mindset community, the Head Start Africa community. There's also the Open community. I think online publishers and entrepreneurs network by Edirin. Amazing community. Edirin is an amazing person. She's an authority when it comes to writing and things like that, right? Start of Africa communities by John D. Amazing person. He's one of those that really taught me how to express the value that I carry. So these are communities that can really help you to grow. So join a community. And when you join a community, don't just join to get, join to give. That's where visibility comes in. Become more visible when you give than when you get. So as you're learning from the community, try to give back. Try to show up with what you know. Let them teach something. Share something. Share your process. Even if there's nothing to share, share your process. Share that. Some of you, I'll tell you now, and let me even say it now. Take a screenshot of this session right now. Like if you're here right now, take a screenshot now. And after now, share this screenshot either on your profile or on your WhatsApp status or on your Instagram status. Share and let people know that you were in this session. If you got value from the session, write that you got value from the session. Tell other people to come and watch the session because the replay will be here on YouTube. Recommend it to people. This is how you start becoming a person of value. How? You are someone that when people see your post, they know that, oh, you're sharing something of value. It may not be your value. Maybe someone else's value, but you can say 5 things I learned from the Roadmap to Mastery session with Fee Steven. I'm not going to argue with you. You learned it. It's your learning. It's not me. I'm just teaching. 3 things I learned from this session. You can share it. It's you. And I'll be happy to see that. So are you taking screenshots? Please take a screenshot. Make sure the screenshot is fine. If it's not very fine, please delete it. Make sure that it's as beautiful as possible. I'm God's creation and God creates only fine people. Okay. So yeah, let's continue. So community is the first, and then there's also word of mouth, right? Word of mouth comes when you've delivered value for someone. So people can recommend you for what they've seen you do before, right? That's free visibility. Then there's paid visibility. If you want to go far, you must use a mix of these two. It's important. Now, it's not compulsory, but it's important. Paid visibility is great, except you have a conviction not to use paid visibility. I would recommend it. Paid visibility is you learning things like Facebook ads, Google advertising, and things like that. Now, the last point before we come to an end, are you tired? Should I stay? Can I stop? Or should I just tell you this last point? I know we're already out of time. This is supposed to be within 45 minutes. Now, the last point before we go is authority and affiliations. Write that down for me. Authority and affiliations. If you want to be a master in your field, go around and ask questions about, are there professional bodies? Are there professional certifications? Are there professional bodies that are in this field? Is there any professional body I can be a part of? Is there any professional certifications I can take? All right. I have several certifications from Meta. That's Facebook. Right. That makes me an authority. I'm a certified business development service provider by SMEDAN. That's the small and medium enterprises development agency of Nigeria. I'm certified. I'm one of those that are certified by SMEDAN. I'm certified by the Kaduna Business School in things around entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial development. I have these certifications. Some of them, I didn't do these things just to learn something new. No, I did it to get that backing, because authority is like what backs you. So authority can be a number of things. There's a certification, there's affiliations with communities. Get these things. Go and research what are the authoritative communities in design. Are there professional bodies in design? Are there professional bodies in public speaking? Are there professional bodies in community management? Is there a way you can affiliate yourself with these bodies? This is how you become a master. This is your roadmap to mastery. This is how you become a master in your field. Now, if you got value from tonight, I want you to do something for me. First of all, take a screenshot of this session right now, and then share it on Instagram and tag me at Fee Steven. My Instagram handle is at Fee Steven. Someone should write that down for me in the chat box, at Fee Steven. Just look for me, Fee Steven, on Instagram. Tag me on Instagram. I want to see your learning. I want to see what you learned from the session, all right? Let me know what you learned. And then something else, if you got a specific specific value from this session and you want to give me a feedback I can share. I value feedback. So if you want to give me feedback with a permission to share, all right, send me an email at hi@feasteven.com. Okay, hi@feasteven.com. Let me see if I can put that up for you. So hi@feasteven.com. So if you're giving me a feedback that you know I can share in public, right? You can send me an email with that feedback. You can also send me, responses. Someone should write that email down in the chat box for me. hi@feasteven.com. Send me responses on social media, especially Instagram. So follow me at feasteven, and then send me those feedback. I want to get those feedbacks from you. Let me know what you think about the session. Let me know that you got value. Did you get value from tonight? Will you recommend this training to someone else? If you will, share the link on your Instagram, on your WhatsApp. Give value to someone. Be the reason why someone else learns the things that you just learned. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this session. Super, super great to be here. We are here every Thursday at 10 p.m. So next week's Thursday, we'll be here again with another topic. So set an alarm, put it on your calendar, get ready for next week Thursday. We'll be here at the same time, 10 p.m. Nigerian time. I know that there are people joining from several countries. I can see Safura. Safura is not joining from Nigeria. So many people are joining from several countries. I also saw I saw a number of, I saw Sandra from Ghana. So I saw a number of people that are not joining from Nigeria. So yeah, 10 p.m. Nigerian time. Okay, yeah, that's Sandra. Awesome. So thank you so much, everyone, and see you in the next session. Let me see. Let me just say hi to some of you. I can see Karim. I can see Izina. I can see Rukoya. Great to have you. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Marvelous. Awesome. Great to have you here. Asusa is always there. Asusa is my person. Hello, Asusa. Great to have you. I can see Funshaw. Please drop a comment so I can say hi to you. I can see Blessing Chika. Amazing young lady. Blessing Chika, I look forward to your rising. Really, really believe in you. I can see Joseph. Hello, Joseph. How are you doing? So great to have you all here. Same time next week. We'll get to talk. Enjoy the rest of your